In today's episode of Value in My Toy Collection, we're going to value some vintage and some newer Masters of the Universe toys. And stay tuned until the end of the video to see how much it's all worth. Hey everyone, my name's Chris. I'm a full-time beauty pageant director as my career, but in my spare time, I'm a huge toy collector. I've been collecting toys now for over 40 years. You can officially call me a toyaholic. Thanks so much for checking out my YouTube channel. My channel consists mainly of two things: beauty pageants, which I love, and toys, which I love even more. My dream in life has always been to own a toy museum. So it's finally happened. I've bought a building, and now I've got to move this massive collection and value it into the building. We're calling it the Toy Vault because it's an old bank building located in Crystal Springs, Mississippi that actually has two large vaults. So now I'm just going to make a ton of videos and value my toy collection, and then I'm going to make some where I take you shopping with me to thrift stores and flea markets and toy stores to let you see where I find all these goodies. So let's start this episode of Value in My Toy Collection and value some toys. Let's jump right in and see what everything's worth. First, this Revelation Prince Adam figure is worth at least $80, and a lot of people have it listed a lot more than that. Next, we have a Mossman figure from 2022 worth about $30, and he's flocked. He's really cool. And then we have the Roton vehicle still in the box worth about $30. I think they made too many of these new He-Man toys. They're not really increasing in value too much. Next, we have the Talon Fighter vehicle, and it's only worth about $20 in the box. And then we have the Point Dread and Talon Fighter worth about $28. Then we have this He-Man figure. He's solid yellow, and he's worth about $20. And then we have a Trap Jaw with a cycle, worth about $20. And then we have He-Man and Battle Cat, and they're worth about $35. And then we have the Prince Adam figure along with the Sky Sled still in the box, worth about $30. We have this vintage cassette player from Masters of the Universe, and it's worth about $125. It's pretty valuable. Then from the Netflix line from 2021, we have the Manny Faces. It's worth about $17. And then we also have Evelyn, and she's worth about $17 as well. And from the Masterverse line, we have the Faker He-Man, worth about $20. And then we have the Savage He-Man, worth about $22. And then we have his horse, Strider, still in the box, worth about $22. And then we have the Power Attack Battle Cat, and he's worth about $30. And then we have a set of 5 micro collection figures, and they're worth about $17. And next up, we have the Leech figure. He's worth about $20. And then we have the Mosquitor figure. He's worth about $30. Next up, we have Snout Spout. He's worth about $22. And then we have Clamp Champ, worth about $19. And then from Masterverse, we have that Battle Cat. That's worth about $28. And then we have the Sorceress set, worth about $19. And then we have Triclops. He's worth about $19. And we have Stratus. He's worth about $20. And here we have the Funko He-Man on Battle Cat, worth about $28. From the Revelation line, we have King Grayskull. He's worth about $18. And then still in the box, we have the Land Shark vehicle, worth about $45. We have this custom-made Orko plush that's worth about $50. I think we paid more like $80 for it, though. And then we have the Snake Attack playset, worth about $16. We have King Hiss, and this one's pretty valuable. He's worth at least $100, more than that with some auctions, but I always take the lowest price. And then we have this Masters of the Universe book. This was created by Pixel Dan. I got this at one of the Comic-Con shows, and it's worth about $50. I think I paid a little bit more than that for it, though, but it's really detailed and intense. All right, next up we have the Frog Mongor. This is the box it came in. It's a really nice box, by the way, but I'm going to show you what it looks like out of the box. This is him. He's super bright and super cool, and he's worth about $53. He's pretty collectible already. And this is what the graphic looks like on the back of the box. Next up, we have an Evelyn Funko figure and t-shirt worth about $21. We have this vintage case from the 80s worth about $30. And then we have a vintage lunchbox from the 80s worth about $35. And when I looked inside, it is loaded with weapons and everything. We'll say about $30 for all the weapons, but hopefully I can find which figure they go to. 1983, we have the Road Ripper worth about $10. The Attack Trap from 1983 worth about $25. And the Roton Evil Vehicles worth about $15. And then the 1983 Stridor Horse is worth about $20. And then we have the 1981 Wind Raider worth about $20. Another Road Ripper worth about $10. And a second Roton vehicle worth about $15. Then we've got these loose figures. Skeletor's worth about $5. And He-Man's worth about $6. The big head He-Man's worth about $6. And the little Evelyn's worth $8. And Arms Keychain's $8. The newer He-Man figure is worth about $15, and the newer Skeletor is worth $15. Then we have all of these vintage figures from the 80s. Some of them are worth a little bit more than others, and some of them are worth a little bit less. But we're going to average all of these at about $12 each. And then here is my helper Daisy, always helping me out. All right, we have another Stridor that's worth about $20. And then we have a Panther from 1981 worth about $22. And the Battle Cat with all the armor worth $35. Then we have a lot more of these figures. Again, I'm just valuing these at about $12 each. And I hope I can go through all those weapons in the lunchbox and find some of the weapons that go with these. This Battle Cat with just the helmet's worth about $15. And then we have some more of these loose figures that are worth about $12 each. And then these Power Attack vehicles, the one with Skeletor is worth about $19, and the one with He-Man's worth about $23. And then we have this 3-pack of the newer figures, and it's worth about $30. And then we have some more vintage figures. Again, these are worth about $12 each. Again, some might be worth a little bit more than that, and some a little bit less, but that's about an average ballpark when I looked them up on eBay, what they were going for. And then I think this is my last set of the retro figures. My poor merman has a chewed up hand. Probably one of our dogs back then got it. These were actually my brother's toys. And every time he comes over to my house now, he's like, I'm going to need those back. All right, then we have this vintage 1984 Orko Eraser. He's worth about $10. Have this little newer Round Man figure worth about $10. And this mini comic book worth about $10 as well. It's from the 80s. I think they came in the package with your figures. All right, then we have Snake Mountain. This was my brother's. It has most of its pieces. It still has the microphone. And it's worth about $90 in this condition. I'm going to have to put some batteries in that and see what that sounds like. I can't remember. I think it just echoes your voice a lot. And then we have the Castle Grayskull, and I think it has all of its pieces, even the weapons. I think the weapons were in that lunchbox, but it has these little levels of floors on the inside. It has like a chair. It has a weapon holder, like an elevator. It's pretty complete. Then we have these big Nerf battle axes from 2009, and they're worth about $15 each. We have 2 of these. I thought I'd kind of hang them up like crisscross by all the He-Man stuff in the toy museum. I thought that would be cool. And then we have this hard foam sword that's worth about $6. I knight thee, Daisy! Yay! All right, Daisy has been knighted, so now we have the Wind Raider assault vehicle worth $30 still in the box. Then we have this small 2-inch Skelegod still in the package worth about $12. All right, now we have some more figures. We have Clawful from 2022 worth about $22. And then we have this He-Man. He's like a black He-Man. He's worth about $25. And then we have this one, Horde Trooper of Hordak, worth about $25. Then we have the Sun Man. He's worth about $15. And then we have this little vintage Sky Sled loose. worth about $15. And then this is not from He-Man Masters of the Universe. It's a Thunder Girl from 1998, a Burger King Happy Meal toy worth about $8. And then from Gargoyles, we have this 1999 figure worth $14, and this Demona plush worth about $20. Then we have these extra large giant He-Man figures. These things are awesome. I saw them for the first time in a toy show. Now the He-Man, he's worth about $225. He's pretty amazing. And then we'll turn it over. If you look on the back of the package, it showed the other figures they wanted to make, but I don't think they actually made all of these. I have a couple of these, but I'm pretty sure they didn't make them all. Next, we have the giant Skeletor. He's also worth about $225. And then we have the giant Man-at-Arms. He's worth about $125. And then you see on the back, they said they were going to make a Tila, but I never saw her. She would have been a great one to collect. All right, then we have the giant Beast Man. He's worth about $125. And the Stratus figure, he's worth about $100. And then we have the newer version of the Snake Mountain that came out, and it's worth about $120 still in the box. And if we flip the box over, we see the back, and the graphics are really cool. It shows a lot of the other figures they want to make, the newer figures, if you want to collect everything. But they've just come out with so much. I don't think it's all going to be really valuable because it's just too many pieces to collect now. All right, and in my other video, I showed my Castle Grayskull. I already valued it in the different video, and then this is what the back of the box looks like. It's pretty cool as well. The graphics alone are just amazing for collectors. Found this little guy hiding out, a 2021 Power Attack He-Man worth about $12, and another Tila worth about $12 as well. Then we found some old She-Ra Princess of Power toys. The bow is worth $15, and Mermisted, the green one's worth $20. The orange and purple one is Flutterina, worth $20. The She-Ra's worth about $10. The one in the pink skirt, Angela, is worth $15, and the orange and yellow one's worth $15. Sweet Bee. This She-Ra on Softwind Funko is worth about $25. Then we have these two mannequins one of the artists created to make Evelyn, and then we have one of Tila. And there's my helper Daisy again. I love her so much. Well, here's Evelyn, and she's worth about $350. That's actually what I paid for her, and I think somebody did a great job on her. And then here's the Tila one, also worth about $350, and that's what I paid for her. And then her little headdress is removable, so you can see her up close. I think they did a fantastic job, and these will look fantastic in the Toy Museum, and I think Daisy approves. Well, with our previous 434 videos of value on my toy collection, our collection was worth $1,070,707. Now, when we add this video of all of our Masters of the Universe collectibles, we can add another $4,052 to our overall grand total. So that means for this episode, which is 435 of value in my toy collection, our new grand total is $1,074,759. Now, I always wanted to say I have $1 million toy collection, and now I can say it. But I don't really feel like I'm a millionaire. I think I'm more of a toyonaire because these toys aren't actually cash. And I've just been saving this stuff all my life, going to thrift stores, flea markets, garage sales, toy stores, and looking online. And it just accumulated to this big old total. And I've still got more videos to make. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you're enjoying these videos as much as I am making them. I like to see what all I have and what it's actually worth. And I'm also putting all the toys on our Facebook page, which is called the Toy Vault of Mississippi. So definitely check that out. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel, please do so because it really helps us grow the channel. So until our next video, we will see you then.